now, and that felt good.
Well, and I'll say too, I mean, I think it was good from the standpoint that, to me, Toronto doesn't have, I mean, Scott Campbell is the closest guy to being the scrapper for Toronto. They don't have a knuckler guy, per se, but those next four guys that went out on the floor, and I know Sandy Chapman was one of them, when Dan Dawson, they, as you said, they were sending the statement, and what I thought, you know, you want to get a team to bond. That's the way to get. What I thought, and I don't know if you saw it on the TSN replay. I didn't see it when we were there, but I saw it on the TSN replay. After the four guys on the floor had the little mix up with the Boston guys, they came off to the penalty box before being told that they have to leave for the night. And Colin Doyle was standing at the penalty box door. He wasn't high-fiving, but he was slapping hands with every guy coming off into the penalty box. And I thought, you know what? That right there has just solidified that team. Your leader's just gone and scrapped the tough guy of the other team, and now four guys are following suit saying, wait a second, if our leader's going to do this, you're not getting away with that in our house. They're coming off the floor, and he's there like the general saying, hey guys, good job. That was huge.
You know, as much as I don't like the big fighting and stuff, because I don't like the kids to see too much of it, the type of coaching style that Accordingly and Sanderson have is just that. It's proven itself, Man Cups, NLL championships, is that, you know, because it's played inside the confines of a set of boards, and it's strategic in its way that it's played. You have to establish yourself, and you got to let the other guy have a set of eyes in the back of his head when he's in your room.
Absolutely. And
it doesn't mean he's going to hurt him.
Yeah.
Just let it be said. You ain't. Be careful. You know.
Well, and I think, just to go along with what you said, I think Troy's philosophy is kind of a, you can run, but you can't hide.
You cannot hide.
It's an enclosed surface, and I'll get you, right?
Yeah.
And you know, again, a totally new attitude. We wouldn't have seen that last year, 2 years ago from Toronto at all.
And, you know, as I understand in the Buffalo game, too, there was something similar happened as well. There was a multiple player altercation at one time, and there was a bit of foo-flying going on. That was referee Couture's second kind of a thing like that in 2 nights.
Well,
just be careful.
He looked pretty winded on Friday night, I'll tell you.
Like, I mean, there's only 2 of them this year.
Yeah.
You know, watch out that this does not become a prevailing theme throughout the NLL, which is going to be really exciting for the fans, but get ready for some long games.
Oh, for sure. Yeah. Now, what did that do to the game? For the rest of the game, again, we were talking earlier, 4.5 minutes into the game, for the rest of that game, there is a grand smack dab total of 11 runners per side. So 5 are on the floor. You looked over at those benches, and I mean, it looked vacant. It looked like a vacant parking lot. There was 6 guys on the bench while the 5 were on the floor. So in effect, the 5 guys playing D go off and change. The 5 guys come up and play O. Now those guys, and back. Try that for 3 quarters plus 10 minutes, almost the full game.
Yeah, and the score was close. It wasn't like it was a blowout one way or the other. The other guys might have just kind of given up. There was a chance right to the very end. Of course, it went to overtime. Yeah, and 3. Balls off the iron for the Rock in overtime. Boston had some great chances as well. Like I said at the other video we did the other night, both goalies were terrific.
Absolutely. And I will say, I mean, to me, that's a moral win for Boston, because you lost Dawson, you lost Veltman. I can't remember the third guy they lost, but I mean, those were all offensive guys. They were on a power. They were going, I think, on a power play, or they were on the offensive side of the ball. So it was their offensive players versus Toronto D players. At the same time, another thing I thought that was just great, later in the game, Boston had a 5-on-3 power play. Who's out on the triangle man short? Colin Doyle.
Yep.
When will you ever see that in the regular season? But you know what? The guys on the bench were so dog tired. Guys, somebody's got to go. And there's your captain out there playing on a man short, 5-on-3, which they did kill off.
Yep. And so, very entertaining match. Yeah. Very entertaining.
Now, the other thing, to further this, and kind of the effect, I remember in the write-up that I did after the Saturday night game, Boston went in the next night and played in Philly and ended up losing. And I remember saying on the write-up, how is this going to affect, because you're going to have 4 guys on offense that are just raring to go because they didn't get to play last night, but how is that going to affect those other 11 players? And lo and behold, they go into Philly and they lose. That all because of the, I guess, the first, take it all the way back to the first incident with Colin Doyle and Paul Dawson coming to blows. Boston's now sitting at 0-3.
Yep, it's funny. One fight affected 2 games.
Yep.
It's and then a short season like this, you know, that's where, you know, is it going to be like this, and that's going to be the story this year. Games decided by things like this, or on the scoreboard. Well, it'd be nice if it's a mixture of both. It'll make this is all theater anyways, you know. So it's watch it and enjoy it.
And you know what? I mean, Boston was 0-2 last year. They're 0-3 this year. they came on like gangbusters near the end of the year. And I mean, it's 3 games in for some teams. Nobody's out of it yet, but obviously you'd rather be 3-0 than 0-3.
Yeah.
3 weeks into the season. So that's the wrap of last week's games, and my God, I mean, if the next 12, 15 weeks are like this,
woo, that's taken us 15 minutes. So you're seeing the second half of it this week. This one probably, it might even go to 3 if we don't get this all in. Thanks for sticking with us.
That's it for now. So we're going to come back and we're going to give our fearless picks.